Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of X Marathon, the series where we cover each and every one of this live action and one animated X-Men movies. And this is the penultimate episode of this series so far. And it's going to be about Deadpool 2. And with me today we have
Adrian again.
Yep, the sequel to the smash hit Deadpool that came out 2 years after the first.
Yeah.
That's a pretty impressive turnaround, not gonna lie.
True.
This film also had a problem with like a director backed out of this and someone else came in to direct it. Yeah, like this had an interesting like behind the scenes drama. Alright, what can I say about Deadpool 2? I'll say this. I don't think there is a dip or increase in quality compared to the first one.
Yeah. Like, when I think about like the downs of this one, it only like the ups bring it back. So
yeah, exactly. That's a great point.
It really just balances out. Even with the introduction of more characters, it still balances out pretty well.
Yeah, it's still a Deadpool movie. Like hell, we get the X-Force in this one, and yet it's still a Deadpool movie.
Yeah, like you said, like the first one was more of a romance movie. This one you can say is a redemption movie, even though the main plot point is "fuck you, Wolverine."
Pretty much. I guess the biggest problem I have with this one, it really makes me like not like this film as much as the first, is the fact that they just kill off Vanessa minutes into the movie, like before the opening credits.
Yeah, no build up, no real villain to cause it.
Exactly. Yeah, like
you killed her to, further the plot. It's a common trend, but you gotta have a good motive.
Yeah, this is the most egregious version of fridging I have seen in a comic book film in a long time. Like, it is purely just to put our main character on this particular path.
Yeah, and then have her ghost like drive his conscience at points.
And ultimately, I feel like the main plot of this film of like Deadpool just trying to like get this kid from turning bad is like not that interesting and doesn't really feel like I don't know, something about it doesn't feel Deadpool to me.
I mean, yeah, I think the way he handles it is questionable.
I don't think that him and the kid have like good chemistry to believe that like, oh yeah, I'm going to like I care about this person and I want to make sure that they, like don't turn out bad. Because ultimately, like, his own, like, want or need to help this kid, it's because Vanessa's ghost or something is telling him to do it.
It's telling him to be a hero,
which
is a good thing.
But it's also not him making that decision. It's the fridging plot telling him to do this decision. So ultimately, I feel like the whole plot of this film doesn't really work for me. However, I do think that this, compared to the first one, this movie feels more like a Deadpool comic than the first one.
Go on.
Because, like, one thing that, like, I do like about the whole... Well, I don't like the idea of a fridging plot, but what I do like about this version of the plot is instead of, like, having Deadpool fall in love with the physical manifestation of death, like in the comics, they adapt that in an interesting way in this film of like, he wants to die so that he can be with Vanessa. That way he could be with a loved one. So you still get that element of this character of him being a really sad, suicidal clown. And I feel like that's more the Deadpool that I grew up like reading and watching in certain cartoons and stuff. So that kind of makes this film somewhat interesting and watchable for me. Because I like, oh, this reminds me of the Deadpool that I know and love. Also, on top of that, it's the wacky adventures of him meeting all these different characters.
Yeah, and I think also to that, kind of like weird, you say like, oh, he wants to die. Yeah, he created a team, tried to build bonds with this team. Most of them ended up dying anyway.
Favorite joke of the film.
And then it's like, oh, even if all this team survived, I'm just going to kill myself.
I don't even, well, yeah, probably. But, like, even at the end with, like, the whole him, like, dying and everything like that, I think the joke's funny, but the actual emotional impact of it, I'm like, okay, I guess, like, like, where did he get that collar? I don't know. Like he just kind of pulls it out of his ass at that point. He might have literally, I don't know.
Oh, it's Deadpool.
Probably then. But I don't know. Like, I just feel a lot of problems with the actual plot of this film.
Like, the problems aren't considerably major that it ruins the film. Just a little, like, but I think they're filled, attempted to fill with, like, the comedic relief.
Yeah.
And the introduction of other characters. And they're also very good. Balances.
I know the first film at the end credit sequence was them saying, like, oh, we're going to introduce Cable into the next film. And I think, like, Josh Brolin as Cable is a really good Cable. And I like him in this film. And I like his, performance and such. I just wish that we got more of the actual character from the comic in it. Because in this, he's just a Terminator parody, in my opinion. And they just do Terminator jokes and references and stuff like that. And just, it's basically, he's on a plot, like, very much like a Terminator film. But I feel like there's much more to Cable than just that. So I kind of wish they brought more of that to this film. But well,
it's not a Cable movie.
Well, yes.
We're trying to focus on, hey, I want to die and say, fuck you, Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. But I also think, like, if you're gonna introduce a character like Cable, like, you gotta put a little bit more effort into it than just, oh, he's a Terminator, pretty much. Like, the most they do is, like, introduce the daughter plot. Like, his wife and kid were murdered. Another fridging element of the film. And he's on this revenge mission. And, like, we don't really get into any of that. Like, we really never get to meet the daughter. They're just there to get the character on this point and path. Again, I think the biggest problem with this film is just fridging in general. And if you don't know what fridging is, go watch our Women's History Month episode. But I guess I don't want to get into complete negatives because I do like a lot of things in this film. But I kind of want to hear what you have to say before we get into some more positives.
I mean, like, bringing all those notes together, like, at the end, yeah, it kind of diminishes the ending. But it does open up, like, that redemption arc that we've actually seen a bit in the Deadpool Wolverine trailers.
That's true.
They'll be this hero. With the introduction of this third movie, what we've seen, it's like, it ties in well.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was a standalone, like, just the second, third was not announced, yeah, you could definitely see, like, this feels a little underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
That he had to attempt suicide, fail, and then realize, oh, I should stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also it being so close and how quick they ran into production of this film, you could kind of feel like, oh, this feels a little rushed. The first film, what I liked about it was, like, the character dynamics, and each person had a reason to be there, and you knew why they were there. And also the plot was really well structured. But with this film, they got the guy who directed Bullet Train and Hobbs and Shaw to direct this film. Now, to be fair, those movies did not come out at the time of this movie being made, but I think it still should be said that that's the same director of those films. And, like, I think Bullet Train's a really fun film. I just think that, like, what this film has over the first is the actual action is really damn good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the action scenes are really fun and creative and really use Deadpool's, like, ability to, like, heal from anything in a really fun and interesting way. And also the fact that there's more mutant-like characters.
Yeah, so it's a lot more fun and seeing, like, the creativity of Powers. That's what gets people excited as either new fans or old fans.
I think the best version of that is Domino.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, Domino is, like, really good.
Fuck,
like,
it's not a power. It's bullshit.
Yeah. I love the performance. I love the look. I love, like, her overall vibe is just really fun.
Like, again, like, with, like, Frances, her powers, she can definitely afford to be cocky.
Oh, definitely. But I love that she doesn't play it like she's an asshole. She just plays it like, oh, well.
I love showing you up.
I find that fun. Like,
it ain't much. Fuck you mean it ain't much? You just killed a guy. You just stopped the whole bus.
I will say, at the end, when they just randomly connect her to that orphanage, I'm like, oh, okay. Just a really ham-fisted way to just connect her to this.
if that's luck, the fuck am I at?
But no, yeah, I love her scenes. Like, I love the joke of like, I'm gonna need a bus to get all these kids out of here. Bam. Orphans. I'll say one more thing I don't like about this film, followed by a thing I really like about this film. One, I don't like that this film has an actual villain. And what I mean by that is like there's just like the main antagonist, you can say, is like Russell or the culty orphanage pedophiles. But they're like such non-characters that it's like, well, I don't even remember the name of those characters. They're just kind of there as this force.
Yeah, the villains are definitely negative.
But they do make up for that by introducing the Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Or not introducing, having Juggernaut in this film.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can call him an antagonist technically.
Well, he's just muscle. Like, he's just there so that, like, we can have another person to fight against. And honestly, if you're going to have a character like that, Juggernaut's not a bad character for that to be.
Oh, no. I mean, with the story they were telling, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely didn't need another, like, villain with a
Mm-hmm.
severe backstory complex.
I mean, I do appreciate that they give this character more of an accurate design compared to the one that we had a couple films back. But in this film, they also mention in like definitely an 80-yard line where it's just like, oh yeah, I wear this helmet so that my stepbrother doesn't read my mind. He's just like, huh, really? Sucks for him. And he's like, well, he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, that's just a hint to like the fact that him and Charles are related in somewhat. But other than that, like, it's just Juggernaut as a force. Even to the fact that his theme song is just, holy shit, what the fuck? Holy shit, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I remember in the theater when I was watching that and I just heard it in the background. I was like, wait, are they saying, like, it's not like traditional opera Latin. It's just a bunch of opera trained singers singing that song, and it made me laugh really. I was just laughing my ass off. But no, yeah, I think the Juggernaut elements of this film are really fun. Even down to the fight with Colossus.
I mean, like, the first sense reaction we get with him is ripping Deadpool in half.
I'm gonna rip you in half now.
Yeah, just does that and leaves. No need to do anything more. I mean, you already wrecked the bus that was carrying everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Broke free, ripped the guy in half, and left with the boy.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go wreck an orphanage.
That sounds just really weird out of context.
Well, that's what he did. That's what he was going to do.
Oh, yeah, that's what I say, out of context.
I think there's one more joke that I did find really funny, and it kind of goes into the overall like action of the film. Is I really like the scene where like Cable and Deadpool have to team up against all those nurses. There's no better bonding than two friends killing pedophiles. I was just like, agreed. And I love the fact that like before the fight, like Deadpool's like, "Can I borrow a gun?" And Cable's like, "Nope." I'm like, all right, well, I'll just take this brick here. He's just using a brick. And to be fair, there's a lot of really cool moves in that fight. Like there's one where like Cable spins like a shotgun around like a swing, and it just like fires back on the guy. Like there's some really inventive shit.
Even though it's like not technically like superpowers, it's still creative as hell, and people love when I see that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it just shows that like these characters are trained killers. But yeah,
want to mention the special guest actors. Like a lot of just come in for a couple scenes, a couple minutes, and just they're fun to have.
I'm trying to think who we all got. We
had
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. We had Pete Davidson.
No, that's not Pete Davidson.
That wasn't Pete. Who?
That's Bill Skarsgård, aka Pennywise.
Okay, yeah.
Rob Delaney as Pete, I think his name. Peter, great character.
Oh yeah, just funny character.
Just some guy who saw the LinkedIn.
Yeah. Then the invisible guy.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Maybe the wind can't touch what it can't see. I think that's it for like big names. Like, yeah. I'm pretty sure in the film we cover next, we'll have a lot more to talk about.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. There's already been a lot of rumors of like big names being in this movie.
So I'm excited for that, but No, yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, yeah, those are the big ones, and like the Brad Pitt one was really funny because I just did not expect it. And the whole behind the scenes of that was also really fun to learn about. How they just called him up, said, "Hey, do you just want to be in this for like a second?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Sure." I love like that's such a great joke in the film because it's like one, it's making fun of how many teams in X-Men like continuity and lore are just named X something.
Yeah.
X-Force, Excalibur, X-Factor. I bet you there's one called X-Wives.
Ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, yada yada yada.
What X-Men team do you belong to? Ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
What's your superpower? Depression.
Red flags.
Red flags.
What's your special power? I'm afraid to talk to women.
Oh, you're dangerous. You're hired. Oh man, that's a good bit.
Good or relatable?
Both. Yeah, and I guess one thing we could say before we wrap this up, I really like the post credit,
Oh yeah, great post credit.
which I think is like the one thing that really sets up Deadpool 3.
Oh yeah, and then again, it's a redemption arc. He redeemed himself by getting rid of the loose scraps.
Yep. Green Lantern.
You just see the script and then blood just splatters on the script.
You're welcome, Canada.
And then Origin.
That one's good too. There's a super duper cut of this. That's actual name of the cut of this film, where like he goes back in time to baby Hitler in the
Oh, we have seen that.
in like in a nursing wing, and like he's just kind of contemplating like, ooh, I don't know if I could do this.
And that's fucking hilarious.
That's a great bit. Honestly, I do think that sets up Deadpool and Wolverine, where it's like, okay, he's fucked up with the timelines, plural.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see.
It is less than 24 hours for us right now.
Man, I'm about to burn those hours waiting because I'm about to just go do whatever the fuck to burn time.
I'm gonna be editing this video pretty much. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about this new Deadpool film. Oh Jesus, what am I talking about?
Yeah, do it anymore. Recent. It's not gonna be recent when you upload.
No. I had a lot of fun talking about Deadpool 2. You know what? Now talking about it, I don't think it's as good as the first one, but I think there's so much in it that is funny and fun and good that I can't say it's a bad film at that. So I just think like, yeah, like I'll say this. So far, if we were gonna like, I'd say it's a 1.5 out of 3 so far. We'll see if it's a 2.5 when we cover Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well, will 3, complete a good or a great trilogy? We will wait to see, but we'll cover that in the next video.
Yeah, dude, I'm so excited. But yeah, if you want to see that, that's gonna be our last video for X Marathon. What a fucking journey, man! Subscribe so you can see when that video comes out. If you enjoyed what we had to say about Deadpool 2, like this video. Comment down below what you think about this film. Let me know if I'm wrong, probably, but let me know if you agree with my opinion. I just want to see what people have to say about this film. And let us know what you think, like if you have seen Deadpool 3 by the time this video has come out.
Or if you haven't, hit that bell notification so you get notified when we upload Deadpool Wolverine review.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can comment on that one, what you think of that film.
Mm-hmm. Comment down below if you think water is wet.
Yeah, let's go! He's doing the bit!
All right. I'm Max.
Adrian.
All right.
My wet water.
I hope you all have a good day. Goodbye.